Hello everyone, my name is Katie, I am the Introverted Reader and this is the Moody book tag. I was tagged to do this by Kaz over at Cats at Camera, so soz that this is late. Because like I said in my last video, the creativity and the motivation have been non-existent this past year, these few months, but I'm here to do this now, finally. So yes, I was tagged by Kaz over Cats at Camera. I'll leave her video and that down below. You should go subscribe to her. Originally this was done by Brittany over at Slanted Spines, so I'll leave her OG video down below as well. So there are 11 questions. I have them here in my brand new shiny notebook. I couldn't find my Targaryen one. Like, it's here somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, so the first question is, do you consider yourself a mood reader? In a nutshell, yes, I do, because I only ever read whenever I, depending obviously on like the genre and what I'm feeling, or sometimes depending on the seasons. Like, I was just thinking about this, like during the like autumn and winter months when it's really cold outside, I like to read the like bigger, more denser fantasy books during those months. Just because they just make me feel warm inside, you know what I mean? Like, I never feel like reading contemporary during the winter because I like to save those for like spring and summer. So in a nutshell, yes, I need to be in the right headspace to read particular books. Do you set TBR lists and do you stick to them? As of lately, yes. Now, usually whenever, if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, I always put air quotes around TBR because I pick out a bunch of books that I would like to get through that month, and I think to myself, these are just, like, if I feel like reading them, I'll read them, but then if there's one that I don't particularly want to read, I'll change it out for another one. Or there's been times when like I'll just add ones to my TBR just randomly, like Court of Miracles up there. That was not on one of my TBRs. I think when did it come out? Was it like during the summertime? Something like that. I just remember it arriving at my house and then just immediately being like, I'm gonna read it. Like, just sometimes I use my mind, like sometimes I don't, but most times, yes, I do make TBR lists and I do tend to stick to them. Well, I have been the past few years that I've been here doing this. Do books affect you emotionally? Absolutely. Absolutely. There is not a single book on this shelf behind me or any book that I've ever owned ever that, hasn't affected me in some way, like made me feel really happy or the opposite, maybe sometimes a little bit angry or frustrated, or someone made me sad. Like, yeah, absolutely. Does the mood of a book run off on you? Not really. I try not to let it rub off on me, especially if I'm like reading and if I'm like sitting reading in the locker rooms before I'm due to go down to go to work. Like, I try and rub it off and be all like, right, things are getting really sad and angsty in this book, but I can't be having that in my head when I'm down at work. So I try not to let it rub off on me, but I am an emotional person, so like most times it does, yeah. When you're feeling sad, do you like to read sad books, happy books, or neutral books? Whenever I'm feeling sad, I think about my favorite things. Like Julie Andrews said to do, think about your favorite things. And one of my favorite things is reading good books. Or sometimes if I'm feeling really sad, I won't want to read at all. Like, I'll just go on the Netflix or Disney Plus and watch a fun movie and laugh, or watch The Untamed for the 10th time and just forget about my troubles for a while. Like, I try and do something other than reading, if I'm being honest. Like, if I'm feeling sad, I don't really have the motivation to read, like depending on the sort of book that I'm reading. Like, if it's the book that made me sad, then I won't want to go near the book for a while. Or if there's something else going on, like if work has really, really pissed me off, then I'm not in the mindset to sit and read, if that makes any sense. Like, I would just stick on Netflix and just be mindless for an hour or two. Most often, do you use reading to escape, to learn, or to critically reflect? Enunciate. All of the above. Again, depending on the book. Like, if it's just like a fun and wacky fantasy book, like Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa, that is like a fun anime themed sort of book. Like, if you're an anime fan, fun times, adventure, I would read that to escape. But if I wanted to have a book that made me think about life, you know, I would maybe read an LGBTQ book or something. Like, I remember reading The Gender Games by Juno Dawson over the summer last year. And, you know, it really made me think, and it really made me like just reflect on things, because there was so many things in that book, like, you know, that she talked about within the transgender community and within the feminist movement, and just like everything that I didn't know about. So it definitely made me want to like reflect on a lot of things and learn. So yeah, all of the above. What is a book that made you laugh out loud? The Lightning Struck Heart series by TJ Klune made me laugh so much. Like, hilarious, hilarious, hilarious. And anything that Simon James Green has written ever, he has the top spot. Up at the very top there, you've probably seen it in one of my bookshelf video, in my last bookshelf video, it's all at the top there. All his books are up there. They make me laugh so hard. Anything that he writes, anything that TJ Klune writes. I'm trying to think. Those are really the only ones that I can think of off the top of my head right now, but like plenty of books have made me laugh out loud. What is a book that made you cry or just really moved you? Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare was probably one of the very few books on this planet that genuinely made me cry, like sitting sobbing over it at 2 a.m. Like, it was not pretty. The book that I'm currently reading, Girls of Storm and Shadow, made me tear up just yesterday. Like, something happened in there and I was like, no. Like, I literally sat like this just on my bed for like a good 15 minutes, just like, why? Other ones that like moved me, Strange the Dreamer really moved me. I'm just looking at the ones that are behind me here. Any of the books that are behind me here moved me or like made me emotional in some way. What is a book that you didn't even know how to feel about? Off the top of my head, Queen of the Conquered by Kacen Callender. See, like, that didn't even feel, but mostly because that didn't feel like a fictional book to me. Like, I felt like I was reading an historical account, because it's obviously based on the fact about, you know, about like white colonists coming to the Caribbean and taking people as slaves and stuff. You know, like that that felt like a historical textbook. That didn't feel like a fictional story. Obviously parts of it are fictional, but you know what I mean. I recently finished reading Priory of the Orange Tree. Pat on the back for me. I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I remember getting halfway through that and thinking, how am I gonna rate this? But oh, there's that. I'm pretty sure there's more there. So Queen of the Conquered, Priory of the Orange Tree. I'm trying to think. Is there any behind here that I wasn't sure how to rate? No. I always know majority of these I knew right off the bat what I was going to rate them, but most times it's guesswork, really. Are you more likely to read on a sunny day or a cloudy day? Well, anytime, really. Like, the weather doesn't really the weather outside doesn't really dictate whenever I read. Like, whenever I feel like it, I'll read. Like, during the summer last year, whenever one of those rare times where the UK got good weather, I spent a lot of time outside actually reading, because it was nice and sunny out and I just wanted to feel fresh air. But like, I think probably if you're talking about like my favorite sort of time to read, probably like a rainy afternoon. I like probably just, you know, sit with like a nice blanket and just read the day away that way. Do you usually set the mood when you read? That ties in with the next question. Yes, I have a blanket that I'm currently sitting on. I get my blanket. I sometimes put on music. Sometimes I have a little reading lamp beside my bed. We don't do candles in this house. Sometimes if I don't feel like listening to music, or if I feel like a headache coming on and I want to relax, I put on my laptop these like ASMR rooms and there's excuse me, but there's like Harry Potter themed ones, like different common rooms. So I would put on the Slytherin common room ambience, you know, like pages rustling and fire crackling and stuff like that, and stick that on my laptop and just sit and read for the duration of that, or sometimes rain sounds or like the sounds of a library or something like that. Can you leap from book to book, or do you read, or do you need buffer time between them? That's the last question. Yeah, I definitely need a little bit of time in between books to, you know, because like I've done that before where I've finished one book and then immediately went into the next one, and it's just kind of like messed with my brain a little bit, and it kind of doesn't, because like it's just too much information. Like I need a little bit of time to sort through what's already going on in my head before I delve into something else. You know what I mean? I suppose it's a little bit different if it's a series, but again, I've done that before where I've gone right into the next book in a series and I haven't enjoyed the next one as much because I haven't allowed myself time to process the information from the first one. So yeah, I need a little bit of time to process and to get myself together about the first book that I've read before I go into another one. So yes, we need the space. So yeah, those are all the questions for the Moody book tag. Who will I tag? I'll tag Dovey over at DoveyReads, who is a new member of the community. I will leave their channel down below, so go and subscribe to them. So hi Dovey, if you're watching, I've tagged you. And who else can I tag? TatiTheTinyBooktuber, if you're watching, I shall tag you as well. And SheaGeeksOut, I'll tag as well. I'll leave all their channels down below, and also Kaz and the original creator of the tag, Brittany. So yes, that's all for this video today. I hope you enjoyed the tag. I really do enjoy doing tag videos, I'll be honest. I might do more of them in the future. But anyway, with that said, Twitter, Instagram, down below as always. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell so you know whenever I upload next, which will be on Tuesday, our next episode of Trope Talk. I'm really glad you guys are enjoying that series. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!